Welcome to another episode of Dig Deep with Audie and Coach B.
What's up? I'm Coach B.
I'm Audie.
Of course. Welcome if you're new. If you go back to the first episode, you would get our humor, but we're pretty spontaneous today, right? Mm-hmm. No structure. We're winging it. We're going with the flow.
I'll try to wing it.
This girl
right?
tells me on the way here, we're going to talk about XYZ, and you're going to talk about this, I'm going to talk about that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I said, no, we're just going to free flow, baby. That's all we're going to do. I
told you in the last episode that I'm structured. If you listen to the last episode, we kind of bickered back and forth about structure, and then you ended up saying something about I don't remember, but you said something about when I said, oh, that was something that I said that was structured.
Nah, she's too structured.
That's just how I am.
My main mad Ed over there said for you to loosen up, you know.
I am loosen up.
You know, he came over.
What are you talking about? I'm like the most I'm like pretty free spirited, but it's just
free spirit in other ways, but not you gotta loosen up, baby. You gotta loosen up.
Okay. Yeah. It's just I can't even say I have no words.
You know, but it's funny because lately, I mean, there's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of chaos in this world right now.
Too much chaos.
Too much noise, I guess, right? Depending on like what you believe in. But you know, I told Audie we need to just be happy, joke around, have a good time. Like, I think people on this podcast are trying to get away from all that, right? A lot of people just don't want to hear that stuff 24/7. But you know, we just had this whole conversation right before we even started filming and whatnot, and you know, now it's good. You know, I got a big gulp coffee right here, you know, with a sticker from Justin that says this shit is bananas.
No,
you know?
Alyssa got us that sticker.
Oh, Alyssa, I thought Justin did.
No, Alyssa got us because
Alyssa.
Because we always talk about bananas, in which we have not.
I thought for some reason Justin gets it, but I mean not.
No, we're the banana gang with Justin.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's been
a lot.
It's been 3 weeks. A lot of chaos has been going on.
I got sick again.
Audie got sick.
Oh my god, I had food. Well, I thought I had food poisoning. It ended up.
Everyone got food poisoning.
It was a stomach bug.
Yeah, but I mean, just everyone. I mean, there's you. There's Ed. There was like Whitney. There was like 4 other people. I think Justin may had something. I mean, like everyone was having some type of issue, like with their immune system. And,
I don't know. It was just weird. I never get.
That was good.
That's sick. You never get sick. I was
like perfectly fine.
Well, I went back.
It's a cardio.
I went back to our dietitian Noah, and I started crying when I saw her, and I said, "I never get sick. I can't be running. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna throw up, or if it's gonna come out the other way. I don't know why I feel this way. I had
the other way."
Huh? What?
I said the other way.
Well, what do you think? Freaking diarrhea.
Ears.
Diarrhea out of my ears.
I hear those ears. That means I didn't listen to any bullshit.
Shit coming out of my ears.
Yeah, I mean, everyone. It's a weird time.
It
especially
is.
because there was like a new moon, and then now the time.
The planets aligned.
The planets are good. Well, no, but I mean, like the new time change. That's gonna make everyone much happier now because the day is gonna be longer, right? We get less sleep, but I'd rather get less sleep in a longer day. You know what I mean? Like I love it when it's like 9 o'clock and it's like barely getting dark. You know. And
Mercury retrograde is coming up. Venus retrograde is coming up. There's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening, but yeah, I mean, it's all good. It's good stuff. I mean, I think today's episode was supposed to be part 2, which I told Audie, I was like, I don't remember what we really kind of talked about in that part 1 because we kind of ramble. I mean, we always just kind of ramble on about anything and everything.
Yeah, but I think
today was going to be about, like you said, an alignment.
Well, continuing because, like I mentioned, I went to my dietitian and I just started crying, which she's also helps me out a lot with like having a better understanding.
She's like your food therapist.
Yeah, she's a food therapist.
Pretty much. That's
she
what
pretty much is. And a lot of it was the reason why I kept getting sick was stress related. And so, and had nothing to do with my job or anything. It was actually myself stressing me out, as I mentioned before in other episodes, with having a former eating disorder. I was bulimic. So I didn't realize that there's some things that when I'm stressed or things are chaotic around me, if I could explain a little bit of how sometimes the way a lot of us that have eating disorders, how we function, it's like a lot of it's control. When everything is chaos, I try to find something that's easily controllable to
of course
bring some sort of peace within myself. And I don't do this anymore, but when I used to have my eating disorder, a lot of it was body image, but a lot of it was because of like any stress or chaos surrounding my life. So a lot of it was easy for me to binge and purge. Well, I don't do that anymore. But I didn't realize when I was talking to Noah about my training and hitting a certain time that I wanted to finish my first half marathon, and everything I was telling her, she said, you're doing like someone with an eating disorder controlling the situation, and you're trying to control the outcome. And I sat there, I was like, oh my God, and I just like started crying nonstop. It's like, oh my gosh.
Even I told you that.
Yeah, you told me. That's probably, you know me better than I guess myself.
Dang,
sometimes.
I should charge you a fee for I could be a food doctor here.
Yeah, you should. But it really amazed me, and it made me have this like wake up call, like shit, like I was really putting so much pressure and stress on myself. And when I was talking to her, she's like, why are you putting all this pressure and stress on you when it's your first half marathon? You should just focus on what you told me, completing the race. And it doesn't sound like you are having any joy in your workouts anymore, because when I used to talk to her about like my working out, she said that it seemed like I had more joy in my workouts. Now it's more like I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and stressing out about like hitting certain interval times, hitting certain run times that you give me in my program. How much weights am I lifting? Like I'm creating all this stress, and it's like I didn't realize I took myself out of alignment by getting stressed, and now I'm getting sick. So it was just a little reminder on what I need to work on.
But you also didn't own up to anything.
No.
You know, like you can...
No, I was just running through, like I felt like shit. I didn't know that I had a stomach bug. I got better. I got an IV, and 2 days later I'm back on the grind. And then it's just like I would be running and be like, man, I feel like off. Like I just don't feel good. Or I'd be like sitting and all of a sudden I'd feel dizzy, or the room would feel like it was spinning. And then I saw a naturopath, and
well, I think there's actually more to that, because typically when you feel like that, there's a component where am I drinking enough, am I eating enough, right? Because those two factors are really going to help you.
Oh, I had lack of appetite.
Well, yeah,
I was definitely not eating enough.
Yeah, but I mean that's just what runners, we go through that. You know, like a lot of runners have body dysmorphia where they go through something, and so they lessen their calories, right? They go in a calorie deficit, and then they still run the amount of volume being on a calorie deficit, right, without even thinking about it. We all have done it. I mean, like, how many times have I run on a long run and not brought enough calories on me, and then all of a sudden I'm like, that's fine, and then I sit there, I'm like, fuck, I feel really dizzy, I feel tired, and then I go home and sleep all day. I mean, like, yeah, that's for sure a lot of factors to that, and the only person to blame is yourself. You know? And I think you not recognizing it, but not speaking about it to me, and playing like, no, I don't want to be this person, because you're trying to prove something to me instead of, like, you're always trying to prove something, right? Like, I'm the dad, you're trying to prove that you can accomplish a million things, right? But it wasn't like that.
No, I think a lot of it is pride, and also too, I think I get like embarrassed to talk about things like that.
I have conversations.
I know, but
I have
it's
conversations
just
like this all the time with everyone.
I know, but I've had
know?
that realization after talking to Noah. It's something that I shouldn't be ashamed about. Like,
I literally, it was so funny that you say that because I had a conversation. I forgot it was talking to Dre, and he's in Italy right now for work, and we had this like 50 minute conversation, and I said some stuff, and he's like, "Oh man, thank you for being open and being vulnerable." And I didn't realize I was just talking like I normally would talk, but I guess it came out like that, you know. And he's like, thank you for sharing that because it really does help us out. And I think the more often you can be vulnerable and talk about it without letting it drag you down, I think is a win, right? A lot of the stuff that everyone's going through today or whatever it may be, you know, they're holding on to something that is just weighing them down.
Yeah.
And I mean, how long is it going to take for you to realize certain things, right? Like, we know some people that have severe anxiety. We know some people that have severe depression. We know some people that have like a severe eating disorder, right? There's a lot of people we know that have gone through that and dealt with that. And at the end of the day, for them, it's what is it that's holding you down? Because in reality, something's holding you down where you don't want to move forward. And I still deal with some stuff. And
yeah.
I'm not saying I'm the perfect person, but that's when you're in alignment, right? You don't really look at it from a standpoint like that. You just look at it as I'm being taken care of, and I always will be taken care of as long as I have my belief system in place and I know that this is the right way, regardless if it's Christianity or Buddha. When you're in that alignment, that energy that it carries, then yeah, like you're going to be in a great place. But you were just like here, you were there, you're trying to figure out everything. And it wasn't what, like, that wasn't your true self, right? Like, everything that you do is you versus you. And we talk about this all the time. You versus you and everything. And you made the decision not to say anything. You made a decision to run when you were
not feeling good, yeah.
Not feeling well. You made a decision to finally see Noah, finally go see Larry. You made a decision to run and exercise still, even when they said don't, but you knew like what was good.
I was listening to my body. It's like going with my gut feeling of,
and that's the only thing you can do.
And I do. It's like after that, it was just another wake up call, and it's okay. I don't want to say it was a setback because sometimes it's
it's always gonna be a setback. It's just how do you look at it?
No,
right?
not a setback, but I'm talking about like I had that realization of like with Audrey when we go to therapy, we do the slap back when we have our moments where everything that we've learned and we've worked on sometimes goes out the door, and I'm learning to not judge myself on that anymore, rather than, oh well, you know better than that. No, well I do, but there's some things that I need to work on and continue to work on, and if I ever slap back again, then I slap back. It happens. We're not perfect.
Yeah, it's always...
It's just it's just more like you have an awareness. I have this awareness that, okay, I need to take better care of myself. No more eating desserts.
Well,
I got into a bad habit. Even you said, like, shit, you're eating more desserts than me.
I didn't really eat desserts.
I know. I was like going to.
You went like crazy. Like you had one thing and then you start eating it.
I was buying all this chocolate.
I think what started it was when you were buying those vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free cookies. You know, the sweet.
The ones that we get at Sprouts.
Yeah, you know, and then you made those, and then you made it a couple times, and you're like, oh, I'm craving this, I want this, so we got it. But like, I would have a couple and then be like, fine. But then you're like eating it.
The next day, I'm like,
and
oh,
I was like, damn. Even when we left them at Angel's house, you're like, we're gonna leave them here. And I'm like, I don't want
like,
them. I bought them for everyone, but you're like, no, I want it. I'm like, and I was like, okay, like. Even that was like heavy for me during that time frame, because even I ate that like a few times. I became
the cookie monster.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to feel like shit. Like, I have to see Noah. I mean, I haven't seen her in like a few months, but even I was telling myself, like, I was waking up feeling a little more tired and exhausted, and then I came to the conclusion that like we were going to bed late all the time, so we broke the good habit, right?
I know, we broke habits.
I started going to bed like at 9, to get up at 4 something, and now we're going to bed like at 11.
Because we started watching all that DIY stuff. They're like, oh, I want to see that house, what it looks like.
I know, but
that
was last night.
That was last night, in which that freaking gave me nightmares.
Yeah.
No, you were watching that weird thing on shapeshifters, and then I had weird dreams.
I think.
Oh, that didn't look right on camera. I was fixing my shoe.
But I think it's just like we have Tony Robbins next week.
Yeah.
Me and Ed talked about this weeks ago, and Tony Robbins is next week, so that's gonna be an interesting 4 days of getting to the root of the cause with a lot of issues. Because even though it was 3-day event that I did with him, the free one that was on YouTube, whatever. Even doing that for 3 days in a row was exhausting. That was only 3 or 4 hours, and this is gonna be 12 hours at least of just getting down to the nitty gritty of things. And I'm looking forward to it. We pay money to. We pay money into things that are gonna help us achieve more than what we can ever think of. Like a lot of us are thinking too small. I still think small. I don't think big enough. I don't think big enough with myself. Like everyone's been saying the same thing. Even Ed was telling me the same thing, and I was like, no, I'm just not ready. I don't want to do that. I want to do this. But then I took the leap and I started doing some stuff, and now it's in the works, and hopefully it comes out pretty well. But I think for us, it's just really setting the tone. What is alignment though? Like what we find alignment, like I define alignment for myself as being in alignment with God, knowing that I'm going to be taken care of in every aspect of my life, from buying a house to having a family to having a good solid career, clients, like whatever it may be. And those moments that I feel scared or nervous, I just try to leave it up to God as much as I can. You know what I mean? And then things always end up working out. But that's what I consider alignment. Like everyone else might just see it as seeing as 222s, 333s, like all those numbers.
Oh, the angel numbers. I mean, yeah, that's always those are more like they all have different meanings of 111, 222. They all have different meanings of. I don't have it off the top of my head. I always see 777 or. I mean,
there's always a number you're born with, right? I see.
Yeah.
Five's always been like my number.
I mean, I see them all, but like.
But I also believe like.
But I don't think that truly, in my opinion, doesn't mean it's.
They're just symbols.
It's just signs that you get.
Yeah, God gives you a sign of like.
You're getting signs from the universe, God, or whatever you want to say.
Like
but
I see feathers all the time, and I knew that like.
I see that as like a sign from God, the angels. But for me, alignment means having more inner peace, surrendering everything to God, and just being more like joyful and living life, just being more joyful from what I've learned from what I want in my life is having more joy, more creativity, more happiness, more of that inner peace, not allowing other people's outside noises to affect my inner self anymore, because it's like all these people are so fixated on all these problems, but it's like, well, what's the solution then?
There is a solution,
but no one wants to do it.
Well, there's a solution right now that's going on, but no one wants to hear it, right? There's always a solution, everything, and a lot of people are going to keep playing the victim as long as they can. And
I think that's part of like when you're not in an alignment is victimhood. Like I see so many people that are always playing the victim. And
before we got here.
Yeah.
We watched a video on this stuff.
But that's just, I have no words, but just even common or little things I see with people, oh, I can't do this because this hurts, or just things I'm like, wait, what? You can't do that because of that? And then it's like, along with victimhood, you attach this like story. It's like you're living in this like this sad story, and this like you want people to feel bad for you, you want people to have pity for you, and it's like, okay, at what point do you just realize like that's not going to really get you anywhere?
Well, it never does.
It never does. And it's like, I don't ever want I don't ever want that energy.
Well, we all became a victim.
We were all at,
you know?
Yeah, I mean, I've been guilty of it when I was like sick. I was like, oh my God, why me? Why again? But then it's like, hell no, I'm not going back into that. I mean, it's going to happen, certain situations, but then you just have to
change the thought right away.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I think when you're sick, I was like, I'm not sick. I'm not worried about it. You're more worried about me getting sick. I don't want you near me. I don't want you to get this. But it's like I'm always divinely protected, and I always put a bubble over myself anyway when I'm around certain people. I mean, I'm super empathic, so I can feel everything and sense everything.
Yeah, I could always feel people. So I'm like, nope.
You know, that's why when everyone's saying something like you have no ideas how many times I train the moms, and all of a sudden, you know, like the kids are sick, and then they get sick, and then some of the kids get COVID or get like RSV, whatever that thing is. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I don't want you to get this. I'm like, I'm not going to get it. And all the years I've been training them, they've been getting sick more often being around them, right? And I'm around them, so they're thinking I'm going to get sick more often. But I'm like, nah. I take like a bunch of supplements that's going to boost my immune system without feeling like that. You know, I'm not saying I don't get sick, but like the last time I really got sick was when we went to Flagstaff, and you got me really sick, and I ran a half marathon, and I got a great place overall, but at the end of the day, I was like, "Fuck, this has really sucked. Like, this really sucks."
I always bring that up.
You know, I haven't really gotten sick like that.
You always say, "You got me sick that one time."
You know, we got to redo that flag.
Oh yeah, I was sick at that time.
We got to redo the Mount Shasta trip. I mean, that was.
I wasn't sick during Mount Shasta.
No,
it snowed.
No, my neck. I had that neck issue.
Oh yeah, you had that neck.
So I couldn't even do anything. I was driving 12 hours like stiff like this. Couldn't do anything, and you're just like, I can drive. I'm like, by the time you drive, I get sick, so I don't even want you.
I don't drive that bad.
So
I don't. You're like I said last time.
I used a girl that's like hopping over curbs and shit.
I do, but it's not that bad. It's gotten better, and my tires aren't that bad
she
anymore.
Didn't even say anything. A long time ago, she crashed into like a fucking pillar or whatever it was.
It was a planter.
And then she hit it, and then she comes back with this whole elaborate story of like, I don't know where this came from. And then months later, she confessed like, oh, I actually hit something. You know?
No, I only confess. Okay,
and then
I'll tell
and then we had to lie to the insurance, tell them like something hit you or whatever.
No, this is what happened. Okay, I was in a very tight spot where our friend lived, and I couldn't see. And her neighbor has these like huge planters. I don't even know. They're like these massive planters, and I was doing like a 20-point turn to get out of her driveway, and I backed into something, and I got out.
Who was this?
Sandra's house. Sandra?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so remember those pillars at that house? They're like these wooden things.
You didn't hit those, did you?
Yes.
I wasn't with you that time.
No, I was by myself, so you don't know what I hit. So I was like I was backing out, and I heard a noise, and so I got out, and I looked at the planter. I didn't see anything, and I looked at my car. I didn't see anything. And then I was driving, and I kept hearing like a when I was driving, but I didn't know what it was. And then I think it took you almost a week to notice because there's something dragging out of my car. And you're like, what is that?
It was just like a bumper.
I don't know what it was, but you said...
No, it was just like design aspect. It had nothing to do with the car, really.
Well, I didn't know what it was. Well, whatever it was, but I didn't know what it...
It was just a design feature on the car.
Part of the car was dragging on the floor. And you're like, what happened? I said, I think someone hit me and left. And so you're going to call the
I called the insurance. And then you told me all this shit, and I had to make the whole story. And that's like insurance fraud right there.
No, it's not.
Dang, we're gonna. There's funny memes where it shows like, FBI, open up. And then everyone comes out after us. That's gonna be us right now.
But yeah, I hit something.
Right at, they're gonna break down the glass door, and they're gonna put me on the ground.
Oh my gosh.
Stop resisting. My wife lied.
But that was the only time I've ever done something.
I mean, like everyone does it. You have to have one, you know?
I mean, there's been so many times I've been in my friend's car or my sister's, they hop over curbs. Worse than me, so I'm not even that bad compared to some people. I'm not going to say things I've been in cars with that have happened.
So we have a month left, just about, right? A little more than a month, 5 weeks until your race.
Oh gosh. Today's the 3rd.
Yeah. So,
I think I'm more...
Yeah.
I shouldn't say stressed. I think I'm more like nervous about waking up at 4 in the morning.
Why would you wake up at 4?
Because the race starts like at 6, doesn't it?
I don't know if it starts at 6 or 7.
I don't even know what time the race starts, but
I'll be dropping you off
that
anyway.
makes me anxious thinking about how early I have to wake up.
Yeah.
Just like I'm anxious right now because I have to wake up early to run.
It's only like 7:28.
I know, but I'm working on not getting.
See, you're talking about the stress that we create in our own lives. She's putting her own stress.
I create my stress all the
I
time.
I gotta wake up, and I'm like, oh, I'm so used to waking up early. Even it's just building a new habit.
Yeah.
You know? It's like we get home, we go lay down in bed for a little bit. Cody's with us, and then we just go to sleep. But I think when you're processing what you have to do tomorrow, like it's a whole saying, right? They say that don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow hasn't come yet. You know, it's a whole thing. We're processing what is our day is going to be like tomorrow. Like I told you before I got here, I said, oh, I'm gonna have a pretty busy day tomorrow too. I got meeting up with someone. I got to get my workout, meeting up with someone. Then I got some phone calls, and I got to do some other stuff, and then potentially hang out with Matt. So it was like, and I said, okay, just gonna see how the day is. But then you're like, oh my god, I gotta do this, and I gotta do it, and I'm like,
I'm out of alignment again.
And I'm like, what are you stressed out about? Like,
I know, just like
I gotta be home at 6. If I get home at 6:01, then it's gonna cause more of an issue. And I'm like, what's a minute or two after 6 o'clock?
I think
it's
this
like
is
maybe,
where I have problems with structure.
Maybe don't worry about that, or spend like 2 hours watching TV trying to put makeup on and get ready. You know, like
I started putting background noise stuff.
Every time I come home after training the moms, like
because
you're just watching TV, not doing anything.
That's the only time I have to watch TV. In the mornings, I don't watch TV really at all after I get home.
And what time do you wake up at?
6:20.
Okay, see? You think he's stressed out? I just wakes up and he's probably getting a cup of coffee, getting that Folgers out, you know, bring it back to old school. And likes that nasty coffee. That's when you know that.
Oh my god!
That's when you know he's ready for the day when he drinks that shitty ass coffee. He's like, nothing can get better than
your cup.
Nothing can get worse than drinking the shitty coffee. Just like that email I sent you, where they're talking about the guys like. It's the budget people that drink coffee, like 7-Eleven coffee, right? Or the people that drink instant coffee, and it's all like their day is not going to get any worse because they just drink the shittiest coffee in the world, so they're good the rest of the day. And it's true, because I think about that. Like, it's true when you do hard things first thing in the morning, right? Even if that means eating shitty food and drinking shitty coffee, right?
I don't eat shitty food or drink shitty coffee.
Yeah.
My ass is too bougie for that.
I used to eat mini donuts and have a monster drink. That was my diet.
At work, they all make fun of me. They're like, "Oh, are you drinking your $20 coffee?"
Yeah, it is.
I'm like, first off, it's not $20. It's more
your
like
coffee,
$9.
The cost of your coffee could get you a double meal.
Yeah.
That's how much your coffee is. Like, you can get a burger, fries, and a drink, and you're getting a latte with like an almond milk substitute, which costs you like an extra $1.
Which is dumb because I don't consume dairy.
It's wild. I'm
like, why should I have to pay
how much
for
you're spending on coffee? I spend $2.
Okay, I only get those drinks maybe once or twice. I drink coffee at home.
Once or twice a week.
I don't really drink that stuff. I have to be careful with my sugar intake. No more desserts.
I said, why are you drinking lattes? I was like, go get just go get black coffee and put a little stevia. I don't like stevia. I only drink that with Laird's superfood creamer, which we probably should get some for you on the way home anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, on our way here, we were talking about alignment, right? And then we started talking about stress and how to manage our stress. And the first thing I told Audie was like, loosen the hell up. And she got mad at me, and she got defensive. And I said, you just have to like free flow of life. Like God didn't, like I told you, God didn't put us on here to be stressed. He put you in situations where you can learn from it and grow from that, right? But he didn't say, oh, I'm gonna fuck everyone up and give you all these different things and you're gonna be stressed the rest of your life. No, like God wants everyone to be as happy as you can for what I believe in, right? Like You know, amen, right?
I'm pretty much free spirited the way I think I drive some. I know I drive some people nuts because of how I do things or how I just don't sometimes care.
We all get OCD.
I'm not OCD at all, but like,
yeah, you are. You get OCD.
And what?
You get
what?
You get OCD with everything. You're OCD about a lot of things.
Okay, I'm only OCD about the bed because of like energy. Like, I like the bed to look a certain way.
Audie's like, side of her bed looks like a recycle center. Her car looks like a recycle center.
My son, no, it doesn't. What do I have on my
She always have, you complain about my coffee cup on my side of the bed, and then your coffee cup's been there for like all day, 2 days, and it's like
it's an empty cup.
And then
before you
had your bottle, your hydro flask with water, you used to have like your freaking these bottles.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
And then I go in the car, and her dad's like, "Oh, your car's so dirty." I'm like, "Yeah, your daughter leaves all her freaking plastic bottles in my car."
My car has gotten better because I stopped drinking water bottles. I have my hydro flask. Good. So I've gotten way better.
Little by little.
I know, but it's
in alignment right there. There you go.
I am pretty much in alignment. It's just funny when people. My sister, she always.
Your sister's OCD with everything too. That's another.
Oh my god, that's like a whole nother story. But what did she say? My dad and her, they say that I stomp around. They said my dad said, for someone so small, you make so much damn noise. Like, why are you so loud? And my sister, when she got married, what did she say? Or when she moved in with Mervin slams cupboards. I'm very loud. I'm just a loud person. I
don't think it's just you. I think honestly, like every female I talk to says they're not loud, but they're loud. And the family, like Pat's loud, your mom's loud, even your dad's loud, you're loud. You know, it's a whole meme where you open up the utensil drawer, and it's like all the noise from the aluminum whatever utensils. Like, you're so loud, and I'm like, it's totally true.
No, but I'm loud.
I go in there and I try to be nice. Like, okay, I gotta get up early for my run. I'm gonna go in the garage. I'm gonna be very quiet. I'm gonna put my shoes on, do this and that, and then I leave.
I never hear you.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like a ninja, and then all of a sudden, you're like a tornado. You're like, what's that, Tasmanian devil or whatever?
You should just be happy. You should be happy. Oh, Taz, you should be happy that I'm not crazy loud. Angel always says when growing up, him and my sister used to get so annoyed because I'd wake up. First off, when I sleep in, my idea of sleeping in is 8 o'clock. So when I sleep until 8 o'clock, I'd get up and I used to sing and just scream really loud in the house, and they were ready to strangle me and said, "Shut the fuck up. Like, why are you so loud on a Saturday?" So you should just be happy I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, because I'm not there, because I'm out on my run. So I don't have to hear anything.
That's true.
So it doesn't even matter.
That's true.
You know? The days I sleep in with you, I'm like, man, like I could be done with my run already, you know? But I do that.
It's nice to sleep in with me and Cody.
Once a month.
That's alignment right there.
I guess so. You know, it's funny when we talk about relationships, and it's always nice to have someone in a relationship that supports you 100% and allows you to get up and go for a run with the guys or whoever group it is, right? But also, you know, says, hey, can you just hang out with me for one Saturday a month at least, or Sunday, and run later? You know what I mean? And I do that to please you, make sure, you know, I'm being a good husband, right? Back in my head, I'm thinking, man, I wish I could be done with my run, right? But I think that because I'm on a routine.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to break a pattern. Like, that's the whole curveball situation, you know?
I gave him, you guys can't see, I gave him a look like, really?
You threw a curveball at me, and I said, sure. And I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me. But, you know, it's weird because, like, even we were talking about that yesterday, me, Daniel, and Matt, and we were saying, like, yeah, that one time you guys ran together, like, you know, they threw out like a time frame. It was like 1 or 2, and then Kevin was like, what? Like, that's late, you know? Because when you're an early person, you get things done early, so you have the rest of the day to like focus on other things, right? And I think that's the type of stress I create for myself, is if I know I could have gone up earlier to get up for when I should have. If I should have done something else, I should have, right? I shouldn't have just like waited and procrastinated. I procrastinate when it comes to certain things, and I try to be like that with running. But I also know, like, to be in a great place, like you said, and be in alignment with you, relationship, right? We have to like meet 50-50, and I meet with you in the middle, you meet with me in the middle, and then we kind of build that relationship and that bond from there. And I think it's great to have that support system, you know, and that's also alignment right there. That's also like what you talked about. Like, I don't ever want to feel like I hold you down, and you, I mean, and vice versa, right? And so I think having our relationship and kind of free flowing today, and Ed said free flow today. Yeah, free flow. That's like, those are the best episodes because we don't think about anything other than like, we talk about this, we talk about that. But I think sometimes that helps take away the noise for a lot of people. Because like I was telling him, I said, most of the podcasts I listen to, they're all just monotone. They're all very like 3 hours long. And I'm like, man, like I can't listen to this. You know, like I want to listen to something like, people love me and Keith. Cool Down
my
combos,
gosh, you guys are so
because we just laugh the whole time. We joke around.
Oh wait,
we make fun of each other.
The episodes, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna have some of this big ass coffee. I hope I don't spill.
The big gulp. The big gulp coffee.
Where is it?
So,
the shit is bananas.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's what makes a great podcast series, right?
Yeah, I feel weird drinking this big old thing.
Yeah, reminds me of that Dumb and Dumber. Where he walks out and he's like, "Oh, big gulp. See you later." That was like, actually, I think I remember reading that it was actually they asked those guys to be in that movie just for that one scene, but they didn't know what he was gonna say, and then that's what he said. Oh, big gulp. All right, see you later.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so.
Imagine you're like going to be in this movie and you had no idea that movie's actually going to be really funny, and it ends up being like that role. And you're
Jim
like,
Carrey. Oh, I'd be laughing nonstop.
Oh yeah, we love Jim Carrey. And
then my favorite part: we got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off. Part of the classic.
I think that's like pretty much what I wanted to talk about today, huh?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I really don't have anything.
I guess that's it. We're done?
Yeah, I guess so. Done? Unless you have something
Dang,
else.
Ed, how many minutes was that? Like 30?
37.
What is it?
37.
Oh shit. Wow, this is like the shortest episode. All right, we're keeping this game strong right now.
Well, I think just at the end of the day, just to stay in alignment is just to try not to stress. I'll try not to be so structured.
Yeah, you know, that's it. It's been 3 weeks.
No judgment. Get out of victimhood. Don't look, like, we've all gone through something, and it's like you have the choice to either stay in that or you get out and you be victorious. So go from victimhood to victorious.
Yeah.
How you do that? Well, you just got to work on whatever it is and stop telling yourself these stories that are keeping you there.
You gotta break the pattern.
Be the first, even if like maybe a lot of it is something you learned from your family, from growing up or someone close to you. Well, break those generational curses or whatever you want to call it.
Generational.
I can't talk, they're tongue twisters.
That's okay. What was that? What's that thing I always try to say? Peter piked the pickle, and I can't even say it.
I don't even know. Why would you even say, like, who goes around saying that?
As a kid, that's what you did.
Oh, I never said that. I used to climb trees. I used to climb trees as a kid and get stuck in them. And now I'm afraid of heights.
That's why. But anyway, I guess that's another story.
I guess so. I didn't even realize that.
So, I guess if you enjoyed this episode of randomness,
share it.
Alignment, share
like it.
Subscribe to us. We love feedback, even if it's good or bad. We like feedback. If it's bad, I'll just block you. Don't matter. Just kidding.
I'll censor you.
I'll censor your ass, and I'm gonna put your ass on blast. No, but I think a lot of our people that listen to us just know how we are. We're just a bunch of goofballs, just having a good time, and that's what life is all about. Just having a great time, not taking things so seriously.
Bring more joy to your life.
Yeah, more joy, more love, more happiness, and I think from that, we'll just end it right there. To my lovely wife, thank you for free flowing today with me. You know,
Oh, you're welcome.
You dropped some good bars today.
Drop some what?
Good bars. It's
What
like
is
a
that?
hip hop thing.
Oh, I don't know.
If Keith listens to this, he would know. Keith be dropping bars all the time.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks guys. We love you. Have a good one. Peace,
Bye.
love, namaste.